These tiny creatures are Arctic surf clams. They're getting packed up for a trip to the shore. With some help, they're about to take up residence in an intertidal mudflat on the Maine coast. Down east, as they say around here.
What we're doing is looking to see whether or not we can diversify the U.S. product for shellfish, and at the same time try to increase the number of jobs that people would have around this particular species.
Brian Beal is a marine ecologist with the University of Maine at Machias. With support from the National Science Foundation, he and a team based at the Down East Institute are putting their aquaculture innovation skills to work. They're focused on two types of shellfish with the potential to bring more jobs and dollars to the area: blue mussels and Arctic surf clams.
So these offspring here are about 2 years old, and when you go into Canada, this particular species, this Arctic surf clam, is a $50 million industry there, and it's a $0 industry here. When it's cooked, it has a very, very distinct color, very, very, very appealing, and its taste is very nice.
But it's no small task to develop a viable new commercial species from the ground up. They've worked out a lot of the kinks, like showing the clams can survive, even thrive, when farmed here, and coaxing them to spawn in the hatchery so they can build up stock. But there is a problem. The green crab is an invasive species that has taken this part of the Maine coast by storm in recent decades and has a particular taste for the Arctic surf clam.
We're not sure why, but it's either one of two things. They're either easier to open or they're better for the animal, and so it gets more energy from them.
Beal says the obvious solution is to keep the clams in nurseries like these until they're big enough that the crabs can't break them open. But that could take over a year and make the whole effort cost prohibitive.
If we can't do the next step, the grow out to commercial sizes in the field at any reasonable survival rate, well then, you know.
They've tried caging the clams inside PVC pipes closed off with mesh. The crabs made short work of those, but they're hot at work on a new design. On the other hand, blue mussels aren't new to Maine. They've been a part of the seafood industry here for years.
That particular species is one where people are culturing it by collecting the small juveniles on ropes that they suspend from docks in the water column.
Beal's team wants to make mussel aquaculture more of a turnkey operation. They've figured out their spawning behaviors at the hatchery, determined what kinds of algae work best for their diet, and even tested different kinds of rope to see which the mussels attach to best. They've developed a novel bag system to keep them contained as they grow.
The incorporation of the bag to simply catch those that fall off or jump off would be certainly useful to ensure that none of these mussels are going to go onto the bottom.
Beal sees a day when farmers would buy ropes already seeded with juveniles, bagged up and ready to go in the water. It's the kind of innovation that drives him. He grew up here, working on the water, and wants to find ways to give back to the community.
I feel very lucky to be able to do these projects and do this research that not only scratch my scientific curiosity, but also can help and have helped clammers and lobster fishermen and worm diggers and scallopers and people that make their living off of the ocean.
It seems even in the fishing industry, you reap what you sow.